Welcome to Comic Construction. Let's talk about the build, art, and story of Hellboy in the B.P.R.D. 1955 to 1957 from Dark Horse Comics. This book was written by Mike Mignola and Chris Roberson with art by several artists including Sean Martinborough, Paul Grist, and Mike Norton, and is colored by Dave Stewart. This is a standard size hardcover at 7 by 10.5 inches and has 456 pages. The dust jacket is 4-color printing with no special treatments, but it is very glossy as you can see. It's a pretty standard dust jacket, all things considered. The book cover is a buckram sort of board with silver metallic printing and embossing. And there's printing on the spine and the front cover, nothing on the back, of course. Buckram is kind of like an old school library book, and it's similar to the texture on the Hellboy library editions. The binding is sewn, and there's a black head ribbon. And the interior stock is a nice semi-gloss, which is a bit on the glossier side. You can see how much light it reflects, but there is a bright white light aimed at it for filming or recording, I guess. Now, while it does reflect a lot of light, in my normal reading conditions, I didn't notice it reflecting that much. But it's a pretty nice sheet. Many artists contribute to this book, and despite the disparate styles, the overall look is fantastic. Each artist's work is tailor-made for the chapter they illustrate, but the colors really tie everything together. I don't think colorists get the credit they deserve, especially in this modern era, when they contribute so much texture to the art. Dave Stewart is amazing, and his colors keep a uniform feel throughout the book, really tying everything together regardless of the style used in each chapter. The book is made up of Cold War era stories, as you might guess from the title. All of these tales are espionage heavy, but there are some 1950s style horror elements, specifically large mutated animals and creatures, like this turtle. I was reminded of the 1954 film Them, which featured giant ants as the monsters. For a large portion of the book, Hellboy is on his own in Mexico. There's a humorous through line in which characters say they're worried about him, and then the reader sees a flash of him in Mexico getting drunk with luchadors or carrying on in some outrageous manner. Eventually, his reason for going to Mexico is disclosed, and it's really sad, but it adds a nice emotional hook to this book. I found this to be an interesting real-world history sort of story with, elements from the Hellboy world. So it's kind of like our world, but with, stuff that defines like the Hellboy universe. So it feels very real and grounded. I enjoyed it, but it did not have that creepy Halloween feel I was hoping for. If you like Cold War era stories, though, this is a must-have. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and share with a friend.